thought my fiancée was proud when I got offered my dream business trip overseas. But the night before my flight, my passport vanished, and her reaction was too calm. I searched everywhere until I found it hidden in her bag. And what she did next completely shattered everything we had built. What's up, everyone? I'm Jason, 29, and I'm here to tell you how my ex-fiancée Amber completely redefined toxic relationship. My life's pretty typical. Stable job in administration, a decent apartment, and until recently, I was engaged to the woman I thought was the one. Turns out I was spectacularly wrong. For years, I've been grinding away at my job, lots of spreadsheets, emails, the usual, but it finally paid off. My boss offered me a series of international business trips. These weren't just vacations, they were huge career accelerators. Major client meetings, networking events, genuine opportunities to level up. When I first told Amber, she seemed ecstatic. She was all, "You're going to crush it," and even helped me pick out new luggage. For a minute, I actually thought I had a partner who genuinely wanted me to succeed. I was dead wrong. Initially, things felt normal. We talked about nightly calls, souvenirs from Europe, how this trip was a stepping stone for both of us. But over the next few weeks, I noticed subtle shifts. Every time I brought up the trip, her face would subtly twitch like she was fighting a grimace. Then came the odd comments. "Do you really need to go?" Or, "I feel like the company's taking advantage of you." I just figured she was a bit down about me being gone, but then she really started to escalate. One day, while I was checking my travel plans, she sighed dramatically and said, "I feel like you're prioritizing work over us lately." That completely blindsided me. We've always had a good balance. I reminded her the trip was temporary, but she just gave me that tight, "I'm not okay, but I'm not telling you why" smile. Now, Amber thrives on being the absolute center of attention. Seriously, whether it's her birthday or a random Tuesday, everything has to revolve around her. I'm all for making my partner feel special, but Amber took it to an extreme. For example, we went to dinner with some of my coworkers last month. By the end of the night, everyone knew every detail about her graphic design job, her boss's name, every project, how she single-handedly saved her team. Meanwhile, nobody even knew we were there to celebrate my work milestone. But hey, who needs recognition when you have Amber? As the trip got closer, her comments got less passive-aggressive and more openly bitter. "I bet you'll have so much fun without me," or, "What if something happens while you're gone? Who'll be here for me?" At one point, I jokingly offered to bring her back chocolate, and she gave me a look that could curdle milk. One night, I made the mistake of mentioning my itinerary while we were watching a movie. I thought she'd be interested. Cool networking. Dinners, visits to international offices. Instead, she turned to me and snapped, "So, you're just going to leave me alone for 3 weeks and expect me to be fine?" I tried to keep my voice light. "Amber, it's not a vacation. It's work. It's important," she shot back. "Important for you. But what about us? Don't we matter?" At this point, I was genuinely frustrated. Every conversation about the trip turned into an emotional guilt trip about how I was abandoning her. Then came the major red flag. One evening, as I was organizing my travel documents, Amber walked in. "You really don't have to go, you know," she said. I looked up, confused. "What are you talking about?" she continued. "Maybe it's not as big a deal as you're making it. What's the worst that could happen if you stayed? You could miss the flight, and we could spend some time together instead." I just stared at her, pen hovering over a sticky note. Was she seriously suggesting I blow off this massive career opportunity to just hang out? Who even thinks like that? But Amber wasn't done. She started making little digs. "Don't forget your passport. Wouldn't want you to miss your flight." Or, "What if the universe is trying to tell you something?" At this point, I wasn't just annoyed, I was genuinely uneasy. Which brings us to the night before my flight. Everything was packed, documents ready. I felt good. Then I opened the drawer where I always keep my passport. It wasn't there. That terrible sinking feeling hit me like a ton of bricks. My entire trip, a huge career step, depended on this one little booklet, and it had vanished. I tore through the desk, shoving papers aside. Nothing. "Jason, what's going on?" Amber's voice drifted in. She was leaning casually in the doorway, wet hair wrapped in a towel, acting like it was any other night. "My passport's gone," I said, my voice strained. She tilted her head. "Gone? That's weird. Are you sure you didn't put it somewhere else?" "Amber," I snapped, exasperated. "It's always in this drawer, always." She stepped in. Well, maybe you moved it without thinking. She pulled open a nightstand drawer, barely peering inside. I didn't move it, I growled, my frustration boiling over. I'm not careless with this stuff. Okay, she quickly said. Let's not panic. We'll find it. I appreciated the gesture, but her half-hearted poking around, idly flipping through clothes was driving me insane. I turned away, muttering, and yanked open the closet. I'd just seen it 2 nights ago. Where was it now? We, or rather I, tore apart the room. Amber just floated around like she was on a scavenger hunt she didn't actually care about. You sure it's not at the office? She asked suddenly. Why would it be at the office? I shot back. Maybe you brought it there to show someone? I didn't even dignify that with a response. My anger was rising. I needed her to care as much as I did, but she was just going through the motions. Have you checked the kitchen? She suggested. The kitchen, I repeated, dripping with sarcasm. Why would I keep my passport in the kitchen? I don't know, she snapped. I'm just trying to help. We were going in circles. I was turning the apartment upside down. Every second felt heavier. Jason, calm down, Amber said, softer now. We'll find it. I don't need to calm down, I practically snarled. I need my damn passport. She sighed dramatically. My flight was in less than 10 hours. Maybe you're not supposed to go, she said suddenly, almost wistful. I looked up, narrowing my eyes. What? I'm just saying, she continued, shrugging. Maybe this is the universe's way of telling you to stay, like maybe something bad could happen if you leave. Or maybe you're just supposed to focus on what really matters, like us. I stared at her, utterly stunned. Amber, you're telling me the universe wants me to miss the trip that could define my career? Really? She shrugged again, avoiding my gaze. I'm just trying to help you see the bigger picture. I shook my head, biting back a sharp retort, and turned back to my frantic search. As I dug through a box of old electronics cables, something clicked. A memory, fleeting but vivid. 2 nights ago, I'd been at this desk, organizing documents. Amber had walked in, leaning against the doorway, just like tonight, and started talking about how much she'd miss me. Her tone wasn't just sad, it was sharp, almost annoyed. I'd brushed it off then, but now it was glaringly obvious. She'd lingered there, watching me, before storming off when I didn't give her my full attention. My stomach dropped. Amber was still standing there, scrolling. Through her phone now, my eyes drifted to her bag sitting by the couch. Her bag, the one she always carried. I stood up slowly, my heart pounding. My rational brain screamed at me to stop, but my gut was already 100% convinced. Amber, I said, my voice tight. Where's your bag? She looked up, confused. What? My bag? Your bag, I repeated, already walking toward it. She frowned, stepping in front of me. Why do you need my bag? What are you doing? Just let me check something, I said, sharper than I intended. Her expression shifted to defensive. Are you serious? You think I have your passport? Her tone, her body language, it was all wrong. I don't know what to think, I said, my voice louder now, but I'm checking anyway. She stepped aside, her face hardening, and I grabbed the bag. My hands trembled as I unzipped the main pocket. Nothing. Then I felt it. A hidden compartment, inside. My fingers brushed against something flat and firm. My heart skipped a beat as I slowly pulled it out. The navy blue cover with the gold insignia made my stomach twist. Relief was fleeting, instantly replaced by a wave of anger and disbelief. She had taken it. Amber was still a few feet away, her eyes widening as she saw what I was holding. Color drained from her face. She froze. Amber, I said, my voice low, though I was boiling inside. What the hell is this doing in your bag? She stammered, scrambling for an excuse. I don't know how that got there. I held the passport up. You don't know? It magically appeared in your bag, in a hidden pocket, and you have no idea how. Her face hardened. Maybe you put it there. By mistake, she said defensively, a pathetic attempt at confidence. I couldn't believe her audacity. Amber, cut the crap, I said, stepping closer, my anger undeniable. You hid my passport, admit it. Her eyes darted to the floor, then back to me. She was cornered. Okay, fine, she snapped. I took it, but I wasn't going to keep it forever. I just wanted you to stay. I thought if you missed the flight, We could have more time together. The sheer audacity of her words was unbelievable. I took another step, practically towering over her. You thought stealing my passport was the solution? Are you out of your mind? Do you even realize what you've done? This isn't just some petty argument, Amber. You almost ruined my entire career. She flinched. I didn't know what else to do, she yelled, her voice cracking. You've been so focused on this stupid trip, and I felt like I didn't matter anymore. I just wanted you to see that we need to work on us. Work on us? I repeated, my voice dripping with disbelief. You don't work on a relationship. By sabotaging your partner, what you've done isn't love, Amber. It's manipulation. Her face crumpled, tears streaming down her cheeks. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she whispered. I just wanted you to stay. I thought if you missed one flight, you'd realize how much I need you here. My jaw tightened. There was no coming back from this. I couldn't even look at her. You've crossed a line I can't forgive, I said, my voice cold and final. We're done. This relationship is over. Her eyes widened. You don't mean that, she said, shaking. You're just upset. You'll calm down and we'll figure this out. I didn't mean to hurt you. I've never been more serious, I said firmly. We're finished. Pack your things and get out. Her expression twisted, desperation mixed with fury. You're not leaving me, she screamed, lunging forward. In a split second, she snatched the passport from my hand. For a second, I was frozen. Then, with a sickening tear, she ripped it in half. What are you doing, Amber? I roared, stepping forward and grabbing her wrist. What the hell is wrong with you? She struggled, her free hand flailing. Let me go. Not until you understand what you've done, I growled, my voice low and dangerous. You just destroyed my passport. Do you even realize the gravity of that? You didn't just cross the line, Amber, you obliterated it. Her sobs grew louder, her body going limp. I let go and stepped back, hands shaking. The pieces of my passport lay on the floor between us. Get the hell out of here, I said finally, my voice cold and steady. I don't want to see you here when I get back. Get your things and get out. She sank to the floor, sobbing. Jason, please. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I was just scared. I thought you'd leave and never come back. I was going to come back, I said, sharp. But now there's nothing left to come back to. You did this, Amber, not me. You need to take responsibility for your actions. She didn't respond. I turned away, unable to look at her any longer. My chest felt tight. I grabbed my phone and started searching for emergency solutions. The passport was ruined. But I couldn't let her sabotage my future. My mind raced as I dialed, adrenaline keeping me sharp. Amber's sobs quieted, but I didn't turn around. The woman I thought I loved had morphed into someone unrecognizable. Her actions spoke louder than any apology. My flight was still scheduled for the next morning. I needed to replace my passport in less than 24 hours. A quick search confirmed. An emergency passport was possible, but it wouldn't be easy. I'd have to go to the nearest passport agency in person, make an emergency appointment first thing in the morning, and bring proof of my trip, government ID, and a whole lot of luck. I called my best friend, Caleb. He immediately picked up on the urgency. I explained Amber had destroyed my passport. There was a pause. Dude, what? He finally said, struggling to process it. I laid out the details, how she hid it, how I found it, and how she tore it in half after I ended things. Saying it out loud reignited the anger. Caleb didn't hold back, calling her actions next-level psycho and asking if I was okay. I assured him I would be, but desperately needed his help. I planned to get an emergency passport and needed a ride to avoid further sabotage. Without hesitation, he agreed. I told him to be there early, 6 a.m. He promised to pick me up and reassured me I was making the right decision walking away. His words hit hard, but I knew he was right. After hanging up, I called the emergency passport line. They gave me an appointment for 7:30 a.m. at the nearest agency, about an hour away. I spent the rest of the night gathering everything, my driver's license, flight itinerary, even an old photocopy of my passport. By midnight, exhaustion set in. Amber had retreated to the bedroom. I didn't check on her. Whatever she was feeling wasn't my concern anymore. At 6 a.m. sharp, Caleb showed up, looking half awake but ready. He took one look at me. Man, you look like you've been through hell. I have, I said simply, climbing into his car. The drive was quiet, except for Caleb occasionally muttering about Amber's unbelievable actions. I mean, I knew she was a bit intense, but this is next level. he said. She knew exactly what she was doing, I said, staring out the window, and I can't believe I didn't see it sooner. Well, now you know, Caleb said, and now you can move on. At the agency, I joined a line of equally stressed people. The process was surprisingly efficient. The staff didn't ask too many questions, though one woman's eyes flickered with sympathy when I handed her the ripped pieces. The waiting was the worst part. Every minute felt like an hour. This entire mess was avoidable, yet here I was, fighting, to fix something Amber had deliberately destroyed. 2 hours later, they called my name. I practically sprinted to the counter. They handed me a brand new passport. Relief washed over me. Somehow, I'd pulled it off. On the drive back, I called. My boss, keeping the explanation brief, passport issue resolved it. He seemed satisfied, just reminded me not to miss the flight. Back at my apartment, Amber was gone. Her things were still scattered, but she wasn't there. I didn't care where she'd gone, as long as she stayed out of my way. I packed the rest of my things quickly. My phone buzzed with a message from Amber. A half-hearted apology, full of excuses. I didn't reply. I deleted the message. By the time I finished packing, the cab was outside. I grabbed my bags and took one last look around. The apartment felt empty, like a clean slate. I left without looking back, ready to put everything behind me. At the airport, everything went smoothly. Security was quick. Sitting in the boarding area, I allowed myself a moment to breathe. The passport in my bag felt like a lifeline. The trip ahead seemed less daunting. The flight was uneventful, but my thoughts were anything but calm. I kept replaying the events, the frustration building. Amber's betrayal wasn't just personal. It was deliberate and destructive. It was clear I needed to address this beyond just walking away. Once I landed and got through the first day of meetings, I took a moment to reassess. The trip was off to a strong start, and my boss seemed impressed, but I couldn't let Amber's chaos linger. During some downtime, I contacted a lawyer Caleb recommended. I laid out everything, the stolen passport, the damage, how it almost cost me my career. The lawyer confirmed my suspicions. Amber's actions weren't just manipulative, they were legally questionable. Destroying a passport and interfering with travel could be serious offenses. The advice was clear. Document everything and prepare to pursue legal action. As I pushed forward with the trip, I focused on work. The meetings were intense, the networking opportunities exactly what I'd hoped for. But even as I maintained a professional front, the storm back home was brewing. Amber had a decent TikTok following, a few hundred people who enjoyed her quirky content. It wasn't unusual for her to overshare, but now she'd turned her platform into a weapon. While I was halfway across the world, Amber was posting videos painting herself as the victim. Her tearful videos were strategically vague, but the message was unmistakable. She'd been abandoned by her partner before a big trip, left to pick up the pieces. No mention of the passport incident, just a carefully crafted narrative for sympathy. The videos went viral quickly. The comments were brutal. People took her side, praising her. Mutual acquaintances chimed in, and soon strangers were digging up my social media and sending hateful messages. My Instagram and LinkedIn were flooded with accusations. They even tried to report my accounts. At first I was furious. Her story was so far from reality. But as the lawyer advised, I saved every message, comment, and screenshot of her videos. This wasn't just online drama, it was evidence. Through it all, I kept my focus on the trip. The whirlwind of meetings helped channel my energy. My boss praised my work, hinting at more opportunities. Knowing I'd impressed him despite everything gave me renewed purpose. Still, the weight of home never fully left my mind. Amber's audience grew, and so did the hate. Her followers identified me. Messages became more personal. Strangers called me names, accused me of being manipulative, even reposted old photos, with twisted captions. The lawyer remained a steady guide. He assured me the more evidence I gathered, the stronger my case. Amber's actions were creating a pattern that solidified my position. By the end of the trip, I had a clear plan. Return, home, meet the lawyer, and file a formal complaint. The passport incident alone was enough, but her social media campaign added another layer. She wasn't just trying to ruin my career, she was trying to ruin my reputation. The last night of the trip was spent organizing everything: screenshots, hateful messages, a detailed timeline. The raw anger I'd felt transformed into quiet, firm resolve. Amber might have thought she controlled the narrative, but the truth was on my side. The trip was a success, but the fallout wasn't over. Landing back home felt like a fresh start, even with the storm still brewing. I had meetings with my lawyer to finalize the case against Amber and loose ends to tie up with the lease and my belongings. But despite the wait, I felt a sense of control. The lawyer moved quickly, filing complaints for destruction of property and interference with travel. The evidence, the torn passport, her messages, her TikToks, painted a clear picture. She had crossed the line, and now there were consequences. She was formally served. My lawyer kept me updated. The court ordered her to pay for the replacement passport, my added travel expenses, and a small penalty for property destruction. Amber's social media campaign, which had initially gained sympathy, began to unravel as legal details surfaced. Her followers questioned her version of events. People dug deeper, some discovering my professional reputation and the fact I'd remained silent publicly while handling things legally. The narrative shifted. Cracks formed in the pedestal she'd built. Her TikTok, once quirky, became a battleground. Comments flooded in, accusing her of lying. She tried another tearful video, claiming unfair targeting, but people weren't buying it. The backlash was swift. Brands distanced themselves, her follower count dropped dramatically. Through mutual acquaintances, I learned Amber was struggling. The apartment she stayed in after I ended things was too expensive. She moved back in with her parents, and word spread that her once polished social media was becoming bitter and erratic. Meanwhile, my life moved forward significantly. Work was thriving. The trip positioned me for exciting new opportunities. My boss praised my professionalism, hinting at bigger projects. As for the legal action, I let the lawyer handle the specifics, but knowing it was progressing gave me peace of mind. Occasionally, friends would tell me about Amber's latest online drama. She tried to spin a new narrative, claiming she was bullied off the internet, but the damage to her reputation was done. She'd alienated too many people, and her attempts to rebuild her following flopped. But Amber wasn't ready to let go completely. The other evening, after a long day, I arrived home to find her sitting on the steps outside my new apartment. She looked different, tired, disheveled, a far cry from her usual confident self. She was holding something. The engagement ring. "Jason," she said softly, standing up as I approached. I didn't say anything, just stared. "I just want to talk," she said, voice trembling. "Please." I crossed my arms, maintaining distance. "There's nothing to talk about, Amber. You made your choices." Tears welled in her eyes. She held out the ring like a peace offering. "I messed up. I know I did. But I love you. I'll do anything to fix this." Her words felt empty, echoes of past excuses. She wasn't here out of love. She was here because she had nothing left. "I'm not interested," I said firmly. "Take the ring, sell it, and get into therapy. I don't care. But don't come back here again." Her face crumpled. For a moment it looked like she might argue, but something in my expression must have told her I wouldn't budge. She stepped back, clutching the ring. "I'm sorry," she whispered, barely audible. I didn't respond. I turned, unlocked my building door, and stepped inside without looking back. Amber never came back. Whatever lingering hope she had was gone. I felt nothing but relief. The whole experience taught me more than I ever wanted to learn about trust and manipulation. Amber loved me, yes, but that love twisted into an obsession, to the point where she acted like a complete psycho. In the end, all she did was reveal her true self. I walked away stronger, with a clearer sense of who I was and what I deserved. And her? She's just a memory now, one I'm more than happy to leave behind. Was I too harsh in cutting her off completely?